I am all about trying to simplify all of my processes, especially when it comes to content creation. I love making videos, I love sharing my knowledge with people, but what I don't love is setting up. And I think I can speak for all of us when I say that probably the worst part of content creation, especially if you make talking head videos like this one, is setting up the lights, the tripod, the camera, the microphone. It's a lot. The existential dread I feel just thinking about it keeps me from making more videos. And when content creation is your job, like it is mine, that's not a good thing. So in an effort to change that, I've built a portable one light stand system to streamline my content creation process, which ironically I'm filming on right now. So look at that, we're already doing better. Hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Jaquie Ohh. I'm a full-time photographer and content creator, sharing tips, tricks, gear reviews, and inspiration. So if that's your thing, hit the subscribe button and let's hang out some more. Okay, grab your drink and get your notes app ready. I'm gonna break down the setup and link everything mentioned in this video below in the description. Cheers. Oh, crap. This is why we can't have nice things. If you've seen my Instagram stories, this was my video setup in the middle of my living room in Miami, and it would take about 30 to 45 minutes to move furniture around and get everything ready for filming. And then God forbid I'd want to film in multiple locations. Oh my God, I'd have to do it all over again. It was such a waste of time. It was annoying. And frankly, it's what kept me from being more productive. Now that I'm living in a new state, a new apartment, and have a new space dedicated to making content, I want to design it in a way that I'm excited about making videos again. So I'm binging YouTube one day, as usual, and I come across this video of this guy who built a portable one light stand YouTube studio. And I'm thinking, genius. I dig a little bit more, and apparently this is a thing. Multiple creators have built some version of this, and it's changed the game for them. So yes, this is nothing new, but I'm curious how I can tweak it to make it work for my needs while also keeping it as affordable as possible. Because you know your girl is always preaching that you don't need the most expensive equipment to get the job done. Some of these setups that I was seeing were like really decked out. I'm talking like thousands of dollars, but I don't think that's necessarily feasible in this economy. So while I did have to purchase a few things, I mostly used what I already had, and they were things that I wasn't regularly using with clients. I understand some of you are not going to have like an extra light or camera laying around, so just use what you have. I promise it's going to be enough. If I were to purchase all of these things I use on my rig, it would be about $3,000, which is still way cheaper than some of these rigs that I saw, but it can be accomplished for way less than that. Again, I'm using things I already owned, but I'll give you more affordable suggestions when applicable. Once we all start raking in the dollars because we are so consistent with our content, we can upgrade. First things first, we begin with the star of the show, the stand. This is arguably the most important piece of the puzzle since it will be the base from which we build upon. This one is from Newer. It's around $120 and it's essentially a heavy-duty light stand on wheels. It's sturdy enough that you can load quite a lot on there, and the wheels make it extremely easy to move around. Hence the portability, which is the whole point. I have carpet and wood flooring, and the wheels move effortlessly on both. They also have locks for even more security. This is about the cheapest you'll find for a heavy-duty light stand on wheels that is not also like super wide at the base. It's strong but compact enough that you can move it around easily without taking up a bunch of floor space. Be careful when you're looking online for these because they do make other ones, but the base of it, like the legs, are so wide, it would literally take up half of your room. So we want to keep this very portable, so make sure you get the one like this. Next most important piece is the lighting. I'm using the Godox FV200. It's a flash plus LED light all-in-one. Now this is about $450. I got it years ago thinking it would be convenient to have a two-in-one light, but I rarely use it now that I've upgraded my lighting, so it's getting its second life here. Honestly, it's overkill for something like this. I think I have it set at like 28%, and that's plenty of light. For something cheaper, I would suggest like the Amron 60DS. It's around $170, but it's compact and powerful enough for what you need. It's about half the size of my Godox, and in this case, the smaller something is, the better. I would actually really recommend that you get something more compact because there may or may not have been an instance where the entire rig tipped over because of the weight of the light. You may have noticed the lights behind me. That's just a lamp from Walmart, but the others are magnetic LED tube lights. They're around $129 for a pack of 2. This is just to add the ambiance. It's not necessary, but I will link them just in case. I feel like I should clarify that I'm not sponsored by anyone mentioned in this video. No one is paying me to plug these. However, if you do end up purchasing from my Amazon, I get a very small commission. So big thanks in advance for that. I appreciate you supporting creators like myself who rely on things like this to earn a living. Okie dokie, obviously gonna need some type of softbox to diffuse the light. I'm using the Ambit Full Quick Install 35-inch softbox. What I like about this is that there's no messing with rods. It literally just pops open and closed. It's about $85, which is cheaper than the well-known Aperture quick release softbox. You could get something smaller though, like a 25-inch from Glow Easy Lock, just to keep things more compact and affordable. I saw some setups that used a lantern softbox, which you could definitely use. Just know that it's gonna give you a different look than the octagon softbox. So at first I tried putting the light directly on the light stand so that my face was evenly lit, but ultimately used a boom arm to position the light a little bit more to the side to give me more of a dramatic and chiseled look. Then I added a grid to keep the light from spilling behind me since I have white walls and unfortunately I'm not allowed to paint them black. I don't know though, which way do you prefer? Now, as far as powering the light goes, I chose to go the plug-in route, which I'll explain later in the video. You can absolutely order a battery pack to power this rig, but for cost and weight purposes, I opted for this setup. I attached a power strip to the light stand using adhesive Velcro strips, then ran that with a 10-foot extension cord to the wall. The 10-foot cord is long enough to get anywhere in the room, but short enough to where it's not in the way. I just flip the switch on the light strip and everything turns on. When choosing a camera, this is gonna be completely preference as well. I'm using the Lumix S9 solely because, well, it's a great video camera. Seriously, the open gate feature is, but it's also one that I had just laying around and wasn't getting used often. It can live on this setup and I won't have to take it off when I have client work. That's when I'll use my Canon. Now, this full frame camera is a little bit pricey. It's around $1,300 just for the body alone. There are way cheaper options out there. I think as long as it's mirrorless, it has a mic jack, an HDMI port, and the ability to change lenses, you're gonna be good to go. Speaking of lenses, I'm using the Lumix 50mm 1.8 because, again, it's one of the only two lenses I own for this camera that has a wide enough aperture to help out in this low light situation. Although I like how a 50mm makes the face look, in the future, I'll probably end up getting something wider like a 24mm just so that I can A, get closer to the light, which equals softer skin and less output, which equals less light spill on the back wall, and B, so I can show more of the room. It's cute in here. So you may have noticed this impressive piece of equipment attached to my camera. This is the Elgato Teleprompter, and for me, this is a necessity. Scripting my videos is an essential part of my content creation process. It helps me sort through my thoughts and deliver them in a more concise and efficient way. Otherwise, I would completely squirrel and get off topic and never finish anything. So having a teleprompter is an absolute non-negotiable. If you can do it without a script, more power to you. But for me, it's just better for all of us. Now, there are many different versions and I have tried a lot of them. I started with the one where you can put your phone in the slot and it reflects the words onto the screen, which is fine, but it was just a little bit tough to control. A friend told me about this Elgato one and how it has a built-in screen, so no more having to use my phone. I can control it from my computer. It has voice sync, which changes the pace of the scroll as you speak, so it like pauses when I do. The list goes on. It's quite literally the best teleprompter I have ever used. And since I'm a big scripter, spending the $280 was the best investment I could have ever made. So you don't need this, but I do. Something you are definitely going to need though are these super clamps and extension arms. This is how you're gonna mount everything to the light stand. I got two different kinds, the newer super clamp paired with the Focus 6-inch extension arm to mount the camera, and then the newer 9-inch adjustable magic arm with super clamp to mount the external monitor, which I will get to in a second. Was I very concerned about the capabilities of these clamps to hold up all of this expensive equipment? Absolutely. But apparently the newer can hold up to 33 pounds and I haven't been let down yet, so Blessings. Oh, another thing that you're gonna need is this K&F Concept rotating tripod ball head for your camera. This way you can quickly rotate it horizontally and vertically. This is a must if you do YouTube and IG or TikTok videos. Going back to that external monitor that I mentioned before, I like to be able to see how I look while I'm filming, just to make sure that I'm in focus and all of that. And while I do use the camera app on my phone as a trigger, the live feed can sometimes lag a little bit and be glitchy, no matter what brand you're using. Also, when I have that teleprompter on, I can't see the flip out screen on the camera. I mean, never mind the fact that it's too small to really see what's going on. So I got the FeelWorld 7-inch camera monitor to relay the camera feed. Now, admittedly, the build quality is not the best and it doesn't come with a battery or a power adapter. So I did have to purchase one separately, but for $100, it does what I need it to do. If you're familiar with external camera monitors, you know that they can get real expensive real quick. I'm primarily a photographer, not a videographer, so I didn't think that I needed to invest in a higher quality monitor since I would only be using it for this setup, but we'll see. It's ultra lightweight, 1080p HD resolution, and it comes with a small ball head attachment to quickly switch between those horizontal and vertical modes. Now, it does come with an HDMI to mini HDMI cable. However, the Lumix S9 only has a micro HDMI port, so I had to purchase the correct cable separately. Just something to note when you are building your setup. I power the monitor by plugging it into the power strip attached to the light stand. I opted for this instead of battery power to keep the weight of the monitor low so the magic arm wasn't struggling. Speaking of power, let me just quickly mention how I power the camera. This is a great hack if you only have one battery like me and have a full day of recording content but don't want to have to wait for a charge. Get one of these dummy batteries that you can place in the same slot as your regular battery. There's a little secret hatch that the cord comes through, then plugs into your power outlet. And now you have power all day. Last but not least, the mic. Now you can literally use any mic, wireless, mounted. There are so many budget-friendly options out there and they all work great. I personally use the Rode Wireless Pro mic because it's an extra set that I had, and if I wanted to be farther away from the camera without losing audio quality, I have that option rather than using a hot shoe mic. I'll either clip it directly to my shirt or tuck it into my back pocket and use the lavalier attachment. Now, this is a $360 wireless microphone. Again, you do not need to spend that much on a mic to get good quality. You could get something like the Rode Video Micro 2 for $80 and be all set. So that's it. That's my setup for the portable one light stand content studio. I'm excited to use it more and see if it really does help my productivity. I'm not 100% sold on this lighting situation or this angle, so I'm sure I'll be tweaking it here and there, but this seems to be working for now. I hope you guys gained something from this. I hope it was helpful, and I'd be interested to hear what your thoughts are or what you would add to this setup. Again, everything mentioned in this video is linked in the description. Well, thanks for nerding out with me on gear, guys. If this is the kind of stuff that you like to see, please like, subscribe, and share so we can please the YouTube gods and you can motivate me to stay more consistent.